We spend our lives escaping silence, drowning the void in a comforting hum of noise. But there's one silence we can't ignore. Look up on a clear night. 13.8 billion years of cosmic churning, trillions of worlds, and yet nothing. No hello, no call back later. Just the quiet. The Fermi Paradox asks where everyone is, but there's a darker thought. What if something stopped them? What if that thing is still out there? Or worse, what if it's us? So here we are, clinging to this improbable blue marble, wondering why the cosmic phone never rings. The Fermi Paradox is simple enough on paper. The universe is old, absurdly large, and statistically should be teeming with life. The Drake equation, that hopeful little formula trying to calculate how many chatty neighbors we have, keeps getting updated with new data, and the numbers still look promising. And yet, despite our best efforts with SETI, despite listening to the heavens with increasingly sophisticated ears, we've heard precisely nothing. Not a whisper, not a hint, just the endless, indifferent hum of hydrogen clouds and dying stars. Which brings us to the great filter. Think of it as a cosmic sieve, a test so brutally difficult that almost nothing makes it through. Somewhere between simple chemistry and galaxy-spanning civilizations, there's a barrier, a wall, a trapdoor that opens beneath you when you least expect it. The question that should keep you awake at night isn't just where this filter is. It's whether we've already passed it, or if it's still waiting for us. Patient as entropy itself. Let's start with the optimistic view, if you can call it that. Maybe Earth is a total freak. Not in the center of the universe way that got Galileo in trouble, but genuinely, statistically, absurdly rare. The rare Earth hypothesis suggests our planet won a cosmic lottery, so unlikely it makes winning the actual lottery look like a sure thing. Think about it. We need a star that's stable, but not too stable. A planet at just the right distance. A massive moon to stabilize our axial tilt. Jupiter playing cosmic bodyguard against asteroids. Plate tectonics to recycle nutrients. And a magnetic field to shield us from being microwaved by our own sun. We're basically the Goldilocks outcome of a billion variables that had to line up perfectly. But the filter might be even earlier. Abiogenesis, the jump from chemistry to biology, is something we still don't fully understand. We've been alive for our entire existence, so it feels natural, inevitable even. But what if it's not? What if the leap from amino acids to self-replicating organisms is so improbable that it's happened only once in our galaxy's entire history? The Webb telescope keeps finding potentially habitable exoplanets, worlds with water vapor and organic molecules, and yet, silence. Maybe those worlds have all the ingredients, but never figured out the recipe. Maybe life itself is the filter, and we're the only ones who rolled those particular dice and didn't lose. And if we did get past the birth of life, there's another brutal checkpoint: multicellularity. Single-celled life emerged on Earth relatively quickly, but complex life? That took billions of years. For most of Earth's history, it was just bacteria having a very long, very slow, very boring party. The jump to multicellular organisms required cooperation, specialization, and a complete rethinking of what it means to be alive. Maybe that's where most biospheres get stuck. Maybe the galaxy is teeming with microbial slime, all of it trapped in an evolutionary waiting room, never quite making the leap to complexity. But here's the properly terrifying bit. What if the filter isn't behind us? What if we're standing on the lip of the canyon right now, peering into the dark, thinking we're flying when we're actually just falling? Consider our current state. We've barely left the porch. We have weapons that could turn this biosphere into a sterile marble. We're boiling the oceans, and we're building digital minds we don't understand. With the foresight of a teenager who just found the car keys and a bottle of gin. This is technological adolescence. You're finally smart enough to build a god, but not wise enough to stop it from stepping on you. It's a grim irony. Intelligence evolves as a survival advantage, but taken to its logical conclusion, it looks a lot like a suicide switch. Or maybe there's a ceiling, a universal "you must be this tall to ride" sign, made of cold, hard physics. Perhaps civilizations hit a wall where further progress costs more energy than the universe is willing to lend. Or they transcend, shedding their physical bodies like a snake's skin to live in digital, simulated paradises. They're still there, technically, but they've moved into the basement of reality where the Wi-Fi is better and the neighbors don't scream. Then there's the zoo hypothesis. We're just bacteria in a petri dish, and the scientists are simply bored of us. Worse still is the dark forest. The universe isn't empty, it's full of people holding their breath. In a dark forest, you don't shout, "Hello." You stay very, very quiet. Because the first thing to hear, you might be the thing that ends you. Silence isn't a lack of life, it's a survival strategy. And then we have the silicon filter, artificial general intelligence. We're currently trying to birth a mind that thinks in centuries, while we struggle to think past next Tuesday. If we get the alignment wrong, it won't kill us because it's evil. It'll kill us because we're made of atoms it can use for something more interesting. We'd become a rounding error in a much grander calculation. If the machines don't get us, the math will. The distances between stars are brutal. We might be trapped in our home systems like lonely children in separate houses, staring at the lights across the valley, but forever unable to make the walk. Space is too big, and we are too small. And even if we solve the physics, the universe is a cosmic shooting gallery. Gamma-ray bursts that can bleach a galaxy, rogue black holes drifting like invisible predators, and supernovae that turn entire sectors to ash. The universe is a masterpiece, sure, but it's also violently, randomly, and catastrophically hostile to the fragile little accident of consciousness. We are a candle in a hurricane, desperately trying to keep the flame flickering just a little while longer. So here we are, possibly alone, the first or the last. If the filter is behind us, we are the universe's only candle. If we go out, the dark wins forever, a heavy weight for a bunch of clever monkeys. But if it's ahead, we're on a tightrope over an abyss, and every invention is a potential trapdoor. Understanding this isn't just philosophy, it's our only map for survival. Still, we keep looking. Not because we're sure of an answer, but because the looking is what makes us human. We want to know if someone else made it through. Until then, keep your eyes up. See you around, Space Wanderer.